Today we have the Foxcode multi-tool hammer and all kinds of things. This is a different tool. I've been trying to get this for a while. I actually bought it off of AliExpress and it was not delivered, and so I bought it off of Amazon. Now my money was refunded from AliExpress, but these are spring-loaded pliers. They've got a big hammer surface and a pretty substantial pocket clip right there with a very tiny attachment surface. There are all kinds of things to say about this tool, so let's jump into it. So I want to start out with the unusual parts of this tool. It is a fairly normal multi-tool with pliers on the one side with a lot of tools that we have gotten used to, but on this other side it is definitely a little different. So on the end is the glass breaker, and then the hammer surface, and then you actually have this pry tool and then a cutter on this side right here. Now, not too long ago, I reviewed that very large multi-tool with that huge blade, and it had something similar to this on the end. Now, this actually has an extra bit holder for Leatherman style bits. And then you can actually use this in the end right here. And then it fits back right there. So that's actually like a spring is how that is. And then it's held in by spring tension. So that's a little different. That fits right in there. Now this ferro rod placement, I don't think is the most ideal. This holder, if you notice, it sort of sits in place, snapped in on both these sides by these little plastic tabs. So it doesn't look like it's super easy to take out. And then unfortunately the hammer ends sort of get stuck with this. So you can eventually work this around. Then you have the ferro rod and the whistle. So cover your ears. I'll go ahead and try out the whistle. Yeah, it works. So let's put this back in place. I don't know, maybe it's, yeah, I think if you turn it upside down, it actually comes out a lot easier. So you have to essentially put this in, twist it around, and then line it back up. That seems like a lot of steps, but it is what it is. So the whistle, the ferro rod, the hammer. So if you're curious, it is 5mm on the one side. You can use these double-sided ones and have it work both sides if you really wanted to. And then on the other side, there is the potential to have a 1/4 inch. So you can use Leatherman, 1/4 inch, and 5mm. You can choose your favorite bit driver type. Now, I'm not a huge fan of this, but it seems like a lot of these overseas multi-tools have gone to putting a ruler on the one side. People must like that, I guess, because they keep doing it, and then a file on the other. So that's that one. And then they had a set of scissors right here. So let's go ahead and try the scissors out. Okay, so let's do some scissor cutting with this tool. Now, just to remind you guys, this is $30 on Amazon. It is available right now. I will have the link down below under the More section. Now, I'm a little bit surprised how good these scissors seem to be. I did not think they would be this good. Some people have mentioned that with a lot of these scissors, they do better and then they dull really quick. I don't know. I think everyone has their own experiences. Seems like these tools, some can be great, some can be not so good. So far, these scissors seem better than some of the other multi-tools similar to this that I have tested out. It even cuts through the seat belt. Not great. It seems to get a little bogged down, but it does cut through paracord, the seat belt. It cuts through this rubber. Now, double layered rubber, it's having a little bit more of an issue. The one thing I want to talk about with these scissors is I sort of like how it has this handle right there. I've seen these on some other cheaper scissors, and actually I think that's a nice feature. It feels a little bit more comfortable than just a plain edge of metal. Unfortunately, yeah, it seems like only cheaper scissors have that option. Not sure why. All right, now with the saw, it pretty much looks like most of the other wood saws I have seen. Perhaps in the future we'll do some testing on some of these as well. And then the knife looks like more your generic knife. They even say it is 5CR15 MOV. So pretty generic right there. They do have the locks on the one side. So let's go ahead and open the tool. And I want to save the pliers for last. Let's look at these inside tools. Now here is the wire stripper, the can opener, the awl right there with the eyelet. And then there's this tool. I don't know. I was always thinking that was like a SIM card ejector, but I think it's more of a micro screwdriver and the bottle opener. Now, with the other tool, I have another tool that I reviewed that did not have the hammer in, but seems almost identical. This has the same extremely gritty plier head. I do not know why. Now, these are spring-loaded. Maybe that's part of the problem. I feel like I can almost see it coming out of the pivot. It could be after you have used it several hundred times, you'll get all that out. But at the moment, yeah, these feel very, very gritty. That's unfortunate. Now, the pliers seem to meet fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, just the pivots right there, not a huge fan. Overall, these are very cheap. I don't know if I can necessarily say these are a great deal for $30. I mean, the $30 segment is pretty competitive. There's the Work Pro, and I'm going to review a brand new Work Pro tool pretty soon. And there's SQT and Byberry, a whole bunch of options at the $30 price point, or pretty close. This is something that I thought a lot of you would probably be interested, so I hope this helps answer some of your questions. Let's go ahead and weigh this tool. Comes in at 9.6 ounces or 269 grams. Now, I always think it's helpful to actually see how the box labels things. Now, this talks about iron wire scissors, the wire cutters, replaceable wire cutters on the pliers, and then the broken window cone, which I think it means a glass breaker, double loaded screwdriver, staple remover, rope cutter, batch head insulation hole, whatever that is, Allen key. So I think some of that has to do with how you would actually take this apart, perhaps. And then the scissors, the scale file, whistle, torch, or the ferro rod, the saw, the safety lock, the threading device, bottle opener, can opener, screwdriver, wire stripper. I think we've covered pretty much all of that. Let me know what you guys think. For $30, is this a good tool? I think it would be if the pliers were better, if some of the outside tools were made a little bit better. It's an interesting concept, but I have to say some of these edges, I don't know, they just seem a little sharp. They're not as good as some other tools that I have seen. I like the color choice, but I just wish it was a little bit more refined.